We're a privately held company that has a tendency to specialize in establishing priorities when things get rough and helping people through rough times. 16 months ago, we went to Greene County to ask them if they needed help relative to their financial budget. We knew that they were going through some really tough times. They had to make some tough choices. The Greene County associates accepted our help. Greene County had experienced almost a $3 million reduction in revenues since the recession of '09. The associates had taken a significant amount of hits. I mean, they went on a wage freeze, and they've been on a wage freeze for the last 5 years. But also, they had to make significant investments because we decided to get tougher on crime, and when you get tougher on crime, it takes an investment. It takes more expenses. And the public took a hit too. I mean, the public took a hit because they had to eliminate animal control, and then they had to lay off about 1/3 of the building and the planning staff inside the organization, which then increased lead times in terms of people that relied on building and planning in order to be able to meet schedules. We worked with the organization, and we developed a whole series of mechanisms where we began to teach people, how to tear things apart, like office supplies and like benefits, and to come up with any kind of a new idea, cost reduction, in order to live within the means by which we were provided as a result of a significant decrease in revenues. I really believe, after we went through this 16-month process, that the associates had really done everything they possibly can to stretch things as far as they possibly could stretch them. I mean, we came to really appreciate how loyal the associates really are and how hard they work, and under what conditions we asked them to work under. But, that obviously wasn't enough. And, we were living day to day, and what we had to do is we had to sit down and we had to figure out, what's the forecast going to be? Let's lay this thing out. Let's take a good scenario, let's take a bad scenario, and let's lay this thing out in a high involvement planning process. You really need to have about $8 million in terms of cash on the balance sheet in order to be able to be sustainable to handle any type of emergencies. At the end of the year 2014, under the best case scenario, we were down to only $3 million. When we ran it out to the year 2016, we had $140,000 in reserves. By year 2017, we went negative cash flow. We had cut not only the fat out of the budget, we cut the muscle out of the budget. Now we're down to the bone, okay? And we can see the bone when we get to the years 16 and 17. That in order for us to be able to meet the needs and the services of everybody inside of the organization, inside of the community, we had to figure out how to generate $3 million annually. It was agreed upon by everybody that safety was number one. That safety is always going to be number one, which means that it left us with only about 1/3 of the overall budget. And then we laid it out, and we came to the conclusion over a 5-year period of time is that we got a serious cash flow problem. But yet, at the same token, we still had to figure out ways to be able to still cut. And they took the challenge. They began to meet every single Tuesday. They began to create huddles. Today, 75 people meet every single Tuesday at 8 o'clock, and they're constantly going out there figuring out cost reductions, new ideas, okay, trying to, continually meet the quality and the services that everybody has. So the idea was to try to come up with the minimum amount of an increase in terms of revenues, and we came up with the usage tax. We felt that the usage tax was not a sales tax. What we're really creating here is a level playing field, and it's only affecting those purchases that are out of state. We need that tax just to break even and develop the types of reserves that we need in case there's an emergency. We need that to be able to support the people in Greene County that I believe really work really hard every single day to provide us with the best services that they possibly can. If you have any doubt that the people are not spending their money in the right spots, any one of us has the opportunity to go down to one of their huddles. It's on a Tuesday. It's 8 o'clock. Just see how financially literate they are, because it's your money and they take it and they hold it in high regard.